Hello everyone, I'm Joshua.
And I'm Abe.
I'm Amanda.
I'm Jay.
I'm Josh too.
Hello everyone, Joshua Myers here, and today I'm going to be reviewing Thor from 2011.
Where did he come from?
Your ancestors called it magic, and you call it science. I come from a place where they're one and the same.
But who are you, really?
You have disobeyed your king. And now take your power!
Destroy everything.
These people are innocent.
And die with them.
I will end this.
Thor, rated PG-13.
Thor stars Chris Hemsworth, Natalie Portman, Tom Hiddleston, Anthony Hopkins, and is directed by Kenneth Branagh. The plot of Thor is that it focuses on the mighty Thor, a powerful but arrogant warrior whose reckless actions reignite an ancient war. As a result, Thor's father, Odin, banishes his son to Earth, where he is forced to live among humans. From Earth, Thor must make preparations to stop his evil brother Loki from dethroning Odin, seizing power and imposing his villainous rule on all of Asgard. When the darkest forces are sent to invade Earth, Thor learns what it takes to be a true hero. Now, before I get on to my likes and dislikes with this movie, I must add that actually this was the first time I've ever seen the first Thor movie, actually. The only one of these, in fact, this was not the first Thor movie I saw. The first one I ever watched was the third one, Thor Ragnarok. That was the first one I've ever seen of these. So I decided, because eventually I had to get through all these MCU reviews, so. And I just recently reviewed Captain America: The First Avenger. Now I'm reviewing this. So, and as for my first time watching this, again, I'll give you my thoughts, so, yeah, let's just get on to it. Now, my positives for Thor is that, honestly, here's the thing, all this stuff with Asgard and that, it's amazing, actually. I really dug the whole stuff of Asgard that they presented in this film. The cinematography for it, just the whole, ideas and concepts were so interesting. Seriously, I wanted to know more about this place. And knowing that, Thor, Chris Hemsworth as Thor is just amazing in it. He brings this likability to and innocence to this character, even when he's being a dick in the beginning in that, which he was a massive dick, and that, he still has this innocence to him in that. Also, I did like Loki as a villain. I thought he was a very complex villain in that, which is something that early MCU movies never really got. In fact, so far, after reviewing the earlier MCU films, I would say Loki is probably the most interesting villain we got in the earlier films so far. And he's a villain in which because they made him so interesting in that, and even at times relatable, because you could understand where he's coming from. And when you learn about his past and that, you kind of do feel sorry for Loki, actually. Also, the pacing of this film is good, too. This movie is like an hour and 56 minutes, and did not feel like that. And most, it probably felt like an hour and 30 minutes. So it felt like, 30 minutes less than what it was. And the action in this movie is still really good. That's the one constant thing so far. That's the one constant thing so far with the MCU, as I've been seeing, is that the action, for the most part, is really damn good in these movies. The acting's all really good. The effects are really good too. I really dug the effects in this movie. Also the costume design, just everything really, for the most part. I really dug. what are my negatives with Thor? Honestly, for me, and it's not a bad negative, it's just, the movie starts to really, lessen once, once Thor is sent down to Earth. When that whole subplot happens, it's like, now it's not awful, it's just not that interesting, actually. Now here's the thing. It could have been made interesting, a god, basically. Like one of the, folklore demigods in that. Being sent down to Earth amongst humans. That could have been made really interesting. But I think they focused all the interesting stuff on the stuff with Asgard, which again was still great stuff, instead of focusing on this stuff. And again, not to say that any of the, characters in that are bad per se once it gets down to Earth, but they're just kind of bland and stock, honestly. I mean, the actors all portray them fine, like Natalie Portman as Jane Foster. I think she did fine in it. But it's kind of generic, actually. She's just a generic, stereotypical movie love interest, really. That's all she is. Although I would say I do like the fact that they tried to make her smart, intelligent, and that. So at least there's that. But other than that, it's just, again, it's not awful or anything like that, or even necessarily boring. It's just compared to, the stuff with Asgard and that, it is a downgrade. And honestly, those are my only issues with this movie. So with that said, I'm going to give Thor a 4 out of 5 stars. Now here's the thing, if they made this stuff with, Thor in the human realm and that, as interesting as Thor being in, the whole realm of Asgard and that, this movie probably would have got a 5 out of 5. But because it seemed like they put a lot of their focus on the Asgard stuff and not as much focus on the stuff with Earth and that, and humans, I think it was kind of, I wouldn't say bad or boring, just kind of underwhelming. But it's not a bad movie. I really liked it, actually. I actually think this film is a little bit better than, let's say, Captain America: The First Avenger. Definitely not as forgettable as that film, I must say. So that's it for this review. Thank you guys for watching, and see you next time.